Welcome, welcome. It is a great joy and pleasure to have Jocey Wiitanen with us here today to share her beautiful experience inside the Living Abundance Mastermind. Jocey was brought to the US from Haiti at the young age of 6, where she was plunged into a new exciting world that offered up wonder and challenges that molded the trajectory of where she is today. Jocey has used her healing journey as the inspiration for her work as an embodiment expert, certified transformation coach, podcaster, co-author, and motivational speaker. Her mantras are self-love, unconditional acceptance, limitless joy, and taking up space. She helps fellow moms and wives to embrace their truest selves by grounding and connecting to their true essence. Jocey is here to help you bloom and align into truly knowing and loving yourself, claiming your gifts, and igniting your inner fire. Awesome. Welcome, Jocey. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's fun listening to you read that.
Yes, gorgeous. So let's cast back. I'd love you to share a little bit about where were you at before you joined us in the Living Abundance Mastermind? What was going on for you then?
Before I joined the mastermind, I thought I was throwing spaghetti at the wall. Is the word that I will use. I was doing all the things. I was trying all the things. I was taking all the courses. I was like, why is nothing working? Nothing is working. I'm doing all this work. And I've really had a really healthy mindset before I met you. And I've done a lot of deep diving before I met you, but still nothing was working for me. I just was not in alignment. I wasn't connected to my soul purpose. I wasn't walking my walk that I'm walking now. And so when I met you, I was the shiny girl on the outside who just looked like she has it all. But really on the inside, I was still just like, why is nothing working? So that's where I was when I met you. I was just like fed up and ready to do the deep inner work that I still didn't think I needed to do. But once I met you, I knew that there was something here.
And what was going on when you were, you'd come through the retreat and you were, thinking about coming into the mastermind? What was going on in your mind and your thoughts in your head at that time when you were thinking about investing into diving deeper together?
Yeah. Well, I first found you on YouTube, started binging your content, and I was just like journaling out all these profound, I call it poetry from like my soul, and telling me all these beautiful things like, it's safe, you're safe, this is where you need to be, this is where you need to go. And so then I followed you to the wealth retreat. And from there, I was sharing from my heart, and I was sharing personal things from my heart. And before that, I wasn't, I didn't feel safe sharing those parts of myself. And so that's how I knew that I had to figure out a way to make this work. So I don't have any fears investing in myself. I don't have any fears investing in my personal growth because I've always seen the change. It was convincing my partner that I was worthy of that investment because he was the one who was going to be helping me. And that's where the challenge was, a little bit of a challenge for me to say, heck yes. But what I found out is when I told my husband, like, this is it, I need this, this is what my soul is calling me to do, that I went all into the mastermind. And my thought was like, there's something different here. Like, this feels different.
Well, I'm so glad you said yes and followed your heart rather than the head.
Yes.
And well done. And how has it been for you? So you've been in the mastermind, we're still journeying together. Tell us some of the shifts, changes, transformations, and results that you've experienced since you've been diving deeper together.
Yeah, I've experienced some massive, beautiful shifts, and internally, and also seen it in my outside world. And I think my biggest transformation for me is my relationship with my father. So before, I was explaining to you, Laura, that I would go to my parents' house and my dad would make himself like be gone. Like, he would just either leave the house, go to his room every time I entered his space. And it's probably because he didn't feel safe in my presence and I didn't feel safe in his presence. So we just weren't ever in the same room. When I found that something was really shifting for me was when I would go home and my dad would be the first one to greet me at the door. He would be spending the whole time in the room. Like, I was like, I saw it happen. And to me, that's when I knew something big was happening. And then when my mom started asking me, what are you doing? And I started to explain to my family what I was doing, and being able to share the shifts for me with my family, that was been super huge. But then on top of that, with my husband, like the more I shift and transform, the more he opens up as well. And we've gotten a big fat raise from this. My husband almost doubled his pay, and he's about to get another raise just recently from the work that I'm doing. So what I told him is, you're welcome, because he's not doing this work. But so there's been money, there's been internal shifts, there's been me showing up like a boss in my business, me showing up like a badass in my coaching, and me fully owning my power of the fact that I'm an intuitive, I'm an energetic, and I help people in such a way that before I kept saying, it's not me, like what, I'm not doing anything. But now I know that I'm the vessel. I've allowed myself to be open enough to hold this sacred space for people to transform and really connect to their essence in a way that does the magic. Like, to me, that has been like the biggest transformation, is I'm just owning who I am. I'm owning my authentic voice, my authentic self. I'm not afraid to say what I need to say. I'm going to be a published author come March 3rd. I've written in this beautiful book called Divine Love, all about self-acceptance and radical self-love, and all that I wouldn't have done before, because I've shared so much personally but I'm sharing from a place of healing, and a place that people that read it will be activated to move, activated to do the work for themselves. And it's just beautiful. There's just so much that has happened. My mind's just like, there's so much. It's just like a complete transformation, truly.
That is so beautiful, so powerful, and so great. And is there anything you'd like to share from the inner game? Because obviously we love results, right? We love doubling income and more money and clients and all that wonderful stuff. Being a published author, all that stuff is, the results we want to see. Our mind wants it, our ego wants it. It's like, yes. But what we know is that the inner shifts and transformations are a key piece to creating the outer change, at least when it comes down to integrated wealth, which is what I'm really passionate about. What would you say, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, the inner shifts, maybe thoughts, beliefs, patterns?
Absolutely. Well, first I had to free little Jocey, because she didn't feel safe. She didn't feel worthy. She didn't feel like she belonged. She was super wounded. There was a part of her that still felt trapped, and she needed me to go in there and hold her and love her up and let her know she doesn't live there anymore. Let her know that it's okay to feel our feelings, because like I said, I had this thought that I had to just be happy all the time and manifest. So fake it till you make it was my motto. Like, just be happy and shove it all down and don't feel it. And so what I did is I went down there and I felt it, and I cried about it, and I allowed myself to be held and supported, and I gave little Jocey what she needed. And basically I was able to free her from that feeling of being trapped basically in a cage. Like, I had to free her. And then my powerful Jocey, I had to go in there and be like, our power is not too much, because for so long I've been told that my power is too much. Like, I burn people, basically, like I am explosive. And so what did I do to protect myself? I just kind of put it away, shoved it down. So I had to go back and be the witness of that part of me who kept telling me, Jocey, you are a powerful creator. Jocey, you get what you want. Jocey, like, let me out. Like, this is the part of you that does the heavy lifting. This is the part of you that makes it easy. But I was afraid of that part of myself. So I had to find a way to gently become friends with that part of myself, and realize now that I can use that power with grace. I can use that power in a simmer way, and it does not have to be explosive. Like, most of the time it was explosive towards myself. Like, the person that I was hurting was me. But now I know that this power can be used for so much good. And so now that's the work that I do with the moms, and is tapping into that inner strength, because that's what it is. It's strength, it's confidence. That is my Like, I just want to say that's like my badass self. That's my fullness of who I am. And so I'm able to welcome all those parts of me to the table and become my whole, full, integrated self. And yes, now I'm sitting here looking like this, but it does take some work. You got to go in there and you got to be willing to sit in the discomfort, because what you get from doing that work of sitting with it and holding is the joy that comes from it. And before, I thought if you felt your feelings, that meant you told the universe that this is what you wanted. You wanted more bad. So just fake it till you make it. And now I'm like, no, if I feel my feelings and I allow myself to be with it and truly be present with those emotions, I can release it and let them go. Yes, triggers will still come, but now I can do it from a place of total calm. And it's almost like an outer body experience. Like, I can see myself getting triggered now. I can see myself when I'm in a headspace that doesn't feel good, and I can bring myself back home, and I can connect back to that very powerful place inside of me that is truly always just the calm.
It doesn't take away from your joy, does it? It's like it just takes that joy and just you sort of embody it even more. It's like you shine even brighter. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I think it's really important to understand what it takes, the inner workings. Like, we love, again, these shiny results, but it's like, what does it really take behind the scenes? So I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Is there anything else for people who are curious or interested or exploring coming into the Living Abundance Mastermind? Is there anything else that you would like to share from your heart for people to know who are on the outside looking in?
Yeah. Well, I just know that when I started doing this work, that my life started transforming and changing. And it wasn't just my life, it was the ripple effect. So most of the time, I think we say yes because we are helping others, especially the heart-centered leaders. We want to give to others. So know that when you do this work, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping your family, you're helping your friends. You are making the world a better place by being brave and having that courage to go in. And sometimes that's all it takes for you to raise your hand. Like I tell the moms, do it for your kids. Do it for your kids, because I show up for my child with so much presence. I give him so much freedom to be who he is. I'm able to just witness him at such a different level that gift is just going to keep giving. So yeah, that's what's on my heart to share.
Thank you so much. This is it. And I think especially women we tend to think it's selfish to be self-focused, right? To, focus on you making more money. But why I'm such an advocate for it is that when you are receiving, when you are thriving, right, then you naturally are going to share more and send bigger ripples out into the world. And so again, same with moms, right? Like when you're taking really good care of yourself, in any part of your life, you can show up more powerfully for others from like a really rooted, grounded, from like that overflowing cup rather than from the drained and resentful cup.
Exactly. And it's so easy to come from that drain. And I mean, because motherhood is hard. It's hard being a mom. And so if you can do this for yourself and have a little bit more ease, like I say, why not? Why not?
And thank you so very much. And I can see so clearly from the outside in, like the world is much, much better and brighter place with you in your power and your too much you and your vulnerable you and all of you. And I know when we're going through it, it can feel really vulnerable and really scary. And it's already creating ripples and waves. And thank you for your brave, bold, beautiful you and your brave, bold, beautiful work. And thank you for taking the time to share your heart with us today.
Yes, my pleasure.